Hello and welcome back to another CityStates Medieval development update video. Today we've got a lot to get through, as for those of you who don't know, we've been running an expanded test recently in order to catch some bugs that may have gone unnoticed by our typical small test group, as well as to get some crucial feedback from fresh eyes. So we're going to talk a little bit about how that's been going, as well as some of the changes we've already implemented and are planning to implement as a result of this. We're also going to finally take a look at the marketplace on CSM, so buckle in folks. So, we've been running the expanded test for about 3 weeks now, and it's certainly been a positive experience. To give you an idea about how this works, we gave our testers some broad milestones to strive for, such as castle levels and defeating bandit camps to unlock more territory, but all in all we encouraged them to play it their own preferred way. As testers reached milestones, we conducted one-on-one interviews with them in order to collect their thoughts and identify reoccurring issues they were having, which allowed the development team to tackle some of these head-on already. At this point, we're very pleased to say that the overall reception of CSM has been extremely positive, with the majority of requested changes being in regard to the UI or general quality of life, something that we have been and continue to work on. Early in the test, we received almost unanimous feedback in regard to both the menu and the farm. The menu felt too clunky, in that selecting the wrong menu icon required multiple clicks and mouse movements to get to the location a player originally wanted. This has since been addressed by the devs and is now far easier to navigate, as you can see. As mentioned, the farm had been a controversial topic of discussion too. Originally, it required upgrading a farm to level 3 in order to unlock the 1-hour production option. We had initially allowed for both a 15-minute or 8-hour option at level 1, with the former being too demanding of the majority of players' attention, and the latter taking too long to provide food which may be needed before production completed. Players found themselves in a situation where they felt pigeonholed into having to immediately upgrade their farms. This in particular was a very reasonable and sensible feedback and was something the devs immediately changed. So now you can access the 1-hour recipe from level 1. And although the primary focus of this test phase is to identify bugs and improve the gameplay experience, it's important to note that our testers have really enjoyed it, and it's been great to see the different approaches they have taken. One tester in particular likes to focus on wood production, a very valuable resource in the early game. Even with the recent restart, he's already focused on defeating the first bandit camp in order to access more forests. We can compare this to another tester who's taken a slightly different approach. As you can see, they've built both a brewery and an armory storage, possibly looking at focusing more on their military, as these require beer and will perform much better with the gear they'll be able to craft. Now let's move along to some of the newer additions to CSM. To start with, you may have noticed the improved resource storage icons. We always make it clear that aesthetic improvements will come later once we're fully satisfied with the gameplay elements. These are still placeholder, however, we are starting to get a lot more attention from third parties and content creators, and so the previous yellow icons were a little bit rustic, even for us. And this brings us to the market, something many of you have been dying to see. Now, like always, keep in mind there's still some visual work to be done on this, but from a functionality point of view, it's working pretty great. You can see that much like any other platform you have traded on, it has all the regular tools, such as an order book through which people can buy and sell. You can also see here that there's a number of trades active from our current test environment. It also keeps track of your own personal trades, so not only can you be reminded of your better deals, but also haunted by deals you regret. The candlestick acts as a quick method of keeping track of certain resources and how they're performing in terms of worth during the declared time frame. Transactions that are processed at times where your storage is full will be held temporarily in the market for you to claim later, so you don't need to worry too much about losing sleep over it. Not only can you view this information in-game, but because it's all on the blockchain, you can also view this information on the Stellar Term webpage, like you would with any other Stellar token. Here we have two pairings, POPs, which represents hex in our test environment, and our food resource. Further down, you can see that you can trade and hold these resources even if you're not an active player on CSM. Do not try to buy these specific resources right now though, they are purely for testing purposes and won't be usable in the final release. Okay, so they have no inherent value. Don't do it. Scrolling down again, we can see the order book, which matches what we have in game. Not only that, but every transaction is publicly available in the ledger, which not only provides interesting historical data, but ensures complete transparency when it comes to resources that were moved around. And that brings us to the end of this development update. As always, thank you for following CityStates. In particular, today we'd like to extend a massive thanks to the small group of testers who have given up hours of their own time to help make the game better and more enjoyable for everyone else down the line. If you're not already a part of our community, we always encourage everyone to check out our social links in the description below, particularly Discord, where the majority of our community reside. Take care everyone, and we'll catch you again on the next development update.